So here I have an interface, which is a list of buttons. And as we sort of go down this list, some of them are indented. So this is what you might see in say, a tree-like interface. And so all of these are interactive, which is great. But this area over here is sort of a dead zone. So if I click over here, it does nothing, which means that in order to click on a child, you do need to sort of move vertically as well as horizontally to get onto it. Now, ideally, we'd actually stretch out this hit area so that you could sort of move your cursor vertically and be able to click, down here to activate this button. So here is how I've done this in the past, and I've seen others do it as well. It seems to be pretty common. And the idea is that the red outline is actually the button element, which sits around the outside. And we're actually styling a span in the middle as a child of the button to actually look like the button itself. So technically the button is this big element here, and you just style the inner thing to look like the button. Now there are a few hoops you have to jump through to get this to work. So for example, hover styling. So I've got it working here. But what I needed to do for that was I needed to disable the sort of the standard focus styling on the button itself. And when the button is focus visible, I then put the outline on its child, which I've called my inner, which, yes, that's how I can get the proper style. Now, there are a few other hoops you have to jump through. So, for example, when you're hovering or active over the button, you're actually styling the inner span here and not the button itself. And this approach generally works fine. There is one downside. So I've got here, I'm opening up Screen Reader on Mac OS. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus through these elements. And you can see that the focus styling is not great. So what VoiceOver is doing is it's actually putting its own sort of that black line on the outside around the button. Now, this isn't the worst thing ever, but, it's not ideal. Ideally, it would go around just our element, but, it's fine that it kind of stretches further than that. So in the last few months, I was shown a technique that I thought was really, really cool. And that is achieving the same outcome. So you can click over here and it's still got that full width hit area, but it's using a different way of doing it. And how it's doing it is now in this example, the black outline is actually where the button is. So this is the button. It's always being indented. And what we do is we put position relative on that. Oh, where is it? Position relative on the button, right? And then we put inside of that a span using position absolute, which is going to stretch backwards to this point, right? And what happens is, even though it bleeds outside of that span bleeds outside of the button's boundaries, it's actually still included in the hitbox for that button. So I can come down here and I can click down here and it gets activated. I think this, and then if we look at, say, the hover styling, I don't need to do anything funny. This is just the button, right? I can just apply hover styling and active styling. So you can see I'm doing it like up here. This is with Tailwind, right? I'm just applying these styles directly to the button and it all just kind of works. Also, that little case with the Screen Reader, VoiceOver, if we come over here now, that's gone, right? Because it's actually going to be highlighting the button. That black border that VoiceOver is adding is now around the button, and we don't get kind of any of that weird case. In case I didn't mention as well, let me just turn that off. Voiceover off. Okay, cool. All the focus styling just sort of works as you expect. I didn't need to do any disabling the focus style on the button and applying it to an inner span, anything like that. So yeah, I thought this technique was really cool because it's just you add one element to stretch it out and then you're kind of done. I just thought that was really interesting and worth sharing. All right, bye.